wanted to share this dream that I had this morning because when I woke up from this dream and opened YouTube, the very first video that I saw, I believe, was literally confirming and describing the exact same dream that I had. So in my dream, there was like a surface in front of me, and it had a lot of water on it. And so I like took my finger and was inscribing just this message in the water. And what it said was, if it wasn't for us watcher Christians putting ourselves out there like we do, then there would be no one for the devil's minions to come after and fulfill prophecy. Okay, so again, I wrote all of that in water. And my brother was next to me, and I believe that he's symbolizing just the unbelievers and those who aren't ready. And I was telling him, like, look, read my message. And it almost seemed like this message was, I remember like finishing it and stepping back and looking at it and feeling very accomplished and proud of it. And I'm like, oh, finally. And then it almost felt like it had become like a museum exhibit or something, because there was like a line of people forming. And I remember seeing a woman and her son come up to it, and they're just kind of looking down and reading it, and they kind of like start to lean on it with their elbow like that. And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, no, you're gonna mess it up. So then I got the idea in the dream that I would be more comforted to know I needed to somehow preserve this message in a more permanent source. So I went and got my computer, and I typed up the message, and I made sure that I like solidified it and documented it, and I saved it to something. And I'm like, okay, this is, I have a hard copy of this now. And then I also printed it out and had it that way as well. So I felt very relieved that the message was preserved. And then I woke up, and it was morning, and I opened YouTube on my phone, and the first video I saw was, this is Hilingiwe. I'm sure most of you know who she is. I guess she has a YouTube video or TikTok or something. I think she does like Zoom messages or something. I'm not sure. I don't follow her. But this was like a few days ago, I think, or maybe yesterday. I'm not really sure. But she said that God gave her a dream that she saw he had this book, a black book with like this gold inscription on it that was written in a heavenly font that she said she'd never seen before. And he said, this is the book of the Christian watchers, the watchers, meaning like those of us who are watching and waiting for Jesus. Because when I first heard her say the watchers in a book, I'm like, that sounds like the fallen angels or something. But then I'm like, that is exactly what I called us in my dream. I said, if it wasn't for us watcher Christians. And so she says that he shows her in this book that he is documenting all of these videos and messages that the watchers are putting out, warning people, all of the dreams and visions and messages and revelations and all the knowledge and understanding that he's giving of scripture, and just whatever your spiritual gift is that whatever he's giving you and you're putting out there to encourage the body and to warn people, despite the mocking, scoffing, being called crazy by your family and friends, despite all of that, despite people ignoring you or just shutting you out or just all the bad treatment that we receive. When you are continuing to persevere and put these messages out, she said that's what he's documenting. And I believe what she saw was true, because this is exactly what I just dreamt. And I believe that those of us who are in that book that he's documenting, that there is a reward stored up for those of us who are not only just like doing the video messages, but sharing it and making, like, typing out community posts about it. I believe that he's documenting that, and there is a great reward for those of us who are doing so. So I just wanted to encourage you guys with that, because I don't even think I would have shared this dream otherwise if I hadn't have seen her dream, because to be honest, over the past few days, I'm like, I'm just not really in the mood. Like, I don't understand what you're saying, Lord. And maybe I just need to step back and just kind of whatever. You know, we all kind of find ourselves in that place from time to time, and that's okay. But as soon as I start feeling like that, he gives me this dream. And as soon as I wake up, the first thing I see is her dream explaining exactly what just happened in my dream. So I believe that the message that I wrote in water by hand, it was corruptible. That was like the videos, the YouTube and all of that. And a lot of people have wondered if, like, after we're gone, whether or not these videos and stuff are still going to be on here for people to see, or if they're just going to immediately take everything down. I don't know. I've thought for a while that probably they will be there as long as they need to be. For those who are left behind, who are looking for answers, I kind of tend to think that they'll find things like this on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, and then for just long enough for them to get the message, and then they'll take it down and move everything to some sort of, like, I don't know, I've heard people say that maybe they'll just turn the whole internet over to, you basically have to have like a Mark of the Beast password to get into it to begin with. I don't know. I've also heard people say that there's going to be a power outage or a blackout to where there's no internet or anything like that. So I don't really know. But I feel like the inscription of writing in the water, it was corruptible. You know, the people that were coming, like I said, it felt like almost a museum exhibit, which I could see like people coming to our videos after were taken away being like, oh my gosh, like this is such a treasure. This is a museum of knowledge and information that we need to know right now. But they were like leaning on it and like kind of starting to smudge it. And then I believe that when the dream showed me documenting it on my computer and saving a hard copy of it and also printing it out, that was like what she was shown in the book. It's being documented by the Lord. So I hope this encourages you. And that's all I have for now. All right, bye.